Welcome back to our channel Rare Coins Hub. In today's video, we're going to explore something really interesting and exciting. So, if you want to find out what you'll learn by staying with us till the end, make sure to watch the whole video. Stay with us and don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get started. In the heart of the 1990s, the world was witnessing immense technological progress and rapid change. The digital revolution was in full swing, with the internet taking over nearly every facet of daily life, from communication to business. The decade marked the rise of new technological innovations, such as the World Wide Web, personal computers in every home, and the birth of mobile phones. For many, the 1990s felt like a period of constant reinvention, both culturally and economically. Yet, amid this technological whirlwind, something that had remained unchanged for decades continued its quiet, steady presence. The US one-dime coin, the 1995 one-dime, much like its predecessors, was one of those seemingly insignificant pieces of currency that slipped through the cracks of daily life. It was the kind of coin you used without much thought, exchanged for a piece of candy or tucked away in your pocket for the next bus ride. But for numismatists, those who study coins, this particular dime would prove to be more than just a tool for small transactions. It would become a small but important part of American history, with a unique design, a few notable minting characteristics, and, in some cases, the possibility of becoming highly valuable. But to fully understand why the 1995 one-dime is worth more than its weight in copper, silver, and nickel, we need to take a deeper dive into its historical context, its design, its minting, and, of course, the fascinating appeal it holds for collectors. The 1990s were a transformative decade for the United States. By 1995, the country had made significant strides following the economic downturn of the late 1980s and early 1990s. The Cold War had ended, and America was transitioning into a new world order, still adjusting to the effects of the Gulf War and the growing presence of technology in every aspect of life. The 1995 economy was booming, led by strong growth in the technology sector, and for many, it felt like the dawn of a new era. Meanwhile, the United States Mint was quietly continuing its mission of producing the coins that circulated in everyday life. The 1995 one-dime coin, like every other coin in the nation's circulation, was being minted as part of this ongoing cycle of production. The U.S. Mint, operating through its various facilities, continued to create the everyday currency that made up the backbone of the American economy. But, as with all coins, the 1995 dime had a history of its own, a design that not only reflected the spirit of the times but also honored one of America's most revered presidents, Franklin D. Roosevelt. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, had been featured on the dime since 1946, a year after his death. Roosevelt's image was chosen because of his leadership through the Great Depression and World War II. As the U.S. faced one of its greatest economic challenges, Roosevelt's programs helped pull the nation out of the depths of the Depression. His leadership, paired with his advocacy for social welfare programs, earned him the respect and admiration of the American people. This made Roosevelt the ideal figure to represent a coin that would be in daily circulation, symbolizing hope, determination, and strength in the face of adversity. Designed by engraver John R. Sinnock, the portrait of Roosevelt on the obverse side of the dime is a simple yet powerful image, the president's face, depicted in profile, solemn and dignified. His likeness was meant to convey the strength of character and resolve that Roosevelt embodied throughout his presidency. The engraving of Roosevelt's face, with its sharp details and smooth lines, became one of the most iconic portraits ever to appear on U.S. coinage. The reverse side of the 1995 dime, as it had been since 1946, features a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch. These symbols are not arbitrary. The torch represents liberty, the olive branch signifies peace, and the oak branch symbolizes strength. These elements combined create a beautiful, powerful reminder of the values that the United States holds dear, values that were just as relevant in the 1990s as they had been decades before. The design of the 1995 dime, though consistent with that of previous years, continued to reflect the enduring legacy of Franklin D. Roosevelt, as well as the country's commitment to its ideals of liberty, peace, and strength. Yet, while the design itself may have remained relatively unchanged, other aspects of the coin's creation were evolving. As with all U.S. coins, the 1995 1 dime was produced at one of the U.S. Mint's major production facilities. In this case, the Philadelphia and Denver mints were responsible for producing the majority of the dimes that would circulate across the country. The Philadelphia Mint, with its long history of coin production, typically minted dimes that were unmarked with a mint mark. In contrast, dimes produced at the Denver Mint were marked with a D, helping collectors identify where the coin was struck. But it wasn't just the minting facilities that were important in determining the value of the 1995 dime. The coin's condition was just as critical. As with all coins, the grade of a 1995 dime plays a major role in its value, particularly for collectors. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being the highest possible grade. The highest grade coins are those that are free of defects, scratches, or signs of wear. An uncirculated, mint-state coin is more valuable than a coin that has been in circulation for years. For the 1995 dime, a well-preserved coin, free from signs of wear, would be considered highly desirable. Coins in pristine condition often sell for a premium price, especially when they are certified by grading services such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. These organizations inspect coins for authenticity and condition, providing collectors with the assurance that they are purchasing a high-quality item. It's not just the condition that affects the value of the 1995 dime. There's another element that makes this coin especially intriguing to collectors: the possibility of error coins. Minting errors are relatively common in the world of numismatics, and they can occur when a coin is struck incorrectly during the production process. Errors can range from minor issues, such as doubled dies or slightly misaligned strikes, to more significant defects, like off-center strikes or planchet flaws. Error coins are highly sought after in the collecting world, as their rarity and imperfection make them unique. Some 1995 dimes, for example, have been found with subtle errors that make them stand out among the vast majority of coins. These errors can drive up the value of a dime significantly, as collectors are willing to pay a premium for a coin that tells a story of the minting process. So, what's the current value of the 1995 1 dime coin? The vast majority of 1995 dimes, especially those in average condition, are worth no more than their face value of 10 cents. However, for well-preserved, high-grade examples, the value can rise substantially. A 1995 dime in near-perfect uncirculated condition, graded MS 67 or higher, can fetch hundreds of dollars, especially if it has been certified by a reputable grading service. But what about those rare error coins? For error coins, the sky's the limit. Dimes with double dies, off-center strikes, or other minting errors can command thousands of dollars at auction. In fact, certain 1995 dimes that feature unique errors have been known to sell for as much as $108,000. Yes, a 1995 1 dime, with the right combination of rarity, condition, and error, can be worth an incredible amount. These rare finds are the stuff of numismatic dreams, and they make the world of coin collecting endlessly fascinating. So, next time you encounter a 1995 dime, remember, it could be more than just pocket change. With its historical significance, iconic design, and the possibility of rare variations, the 1995 1 dime coin stands as a testament to the enduring power of American currency, and the potential for hidden treasure in every corner of everyday life. Whether you're an experienced collector or someone simply intrigued by the world of numismatics, the 1995 dime is a perfect example of how even the smallest, most unassuming coins can hold a remarkable value. And who knows? You may just find yourself holding onto a coin worth much more than 10 cents. It was the year 1984, a year that might seem distant now, but for those who lived through it, it's still full of vivid memories. The world was changing at a rapid pace, and in the United States, it was a year marked by economic stability, cultural shifts, and international politics. The Cold War was still in the background, the tech boom was just beginning, and pop culture was booming with hits from Michael Jackson, Madonna, and the blockbuster film Ghostbusters. In the midst of all this, one thing remained constant, unchanged by the passing of time: the steady presence of coins in your pocket. And in 1984, one coin that would slip through your fingers countless times, often without a second thought, was the 1 dime. At first glance, the 1984 dime is a small, almost insignificant piece of currency, hardly more than 17.91 millimeters across, yet it holds a rich history, symbolic design, and unique significance. But just what makes the 1984 dime worthy of attention? How does a simple 10-cent coin turn into a fascinating story of American history and numismatic intrigue? Let's journey back to 1984 to find out. The 1980s were a time of transition for the United States, not only in terms of politics and economics but also with regard to the nation's coinage. Coins had always been a symbol of America's prosperity, strength, and enduring traditions. And the dime, despite its small size, was no exception. The dime, in fact, had a long and distinguished history, stretching back to the first U.S. mint coin struck in 1796. But by 1984, it had undergone multiple redesigns and changes in composition over the years, reflecting both the times and the country's values. The most iconic design of the U.S. dime, which would carry over into 1984 and beyond, featured the image of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. The decision to place Roosevelt's likeness on the dime was made shortly after his death in 1945, following his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. His image, designed by John R. Sinnock, had appeared on the dime since 1946, and would continue to do so in 1984, making the Roosevelt dime one of the most enduring coin designs in U.S. history. Roosevelt's image was chosen to symbolize leadership, resilience, and progress, qualities that the president exemplified during one of the most challenging periods in American history. His likeness is portrayed in profile, facing left, with a sense of dignity and solemnity. This simple yet powerful design conveyed Roosevelt's strength and the respect he commanded as a leader. On the reverse side of the dime, we find a timeless design that had been in use since Roosevelt's time. The reverse side of the coin features a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch. Each of these symbols carries its own significance. The torch represents liberty, the olive branch symbolizes peace, and the oak branch stands for strength. Together, they form an emblem of American ideals that continues to be a part of the national consciousness. The design was both a tribute to the enduring spirit of America and a reflection of the values the country held dear. But while the design of the 1984 dime was largely unchanged from previous years, the minting process had evolved, and this small change made a difference in the dimes that would enter circulation. The United States Mint, which was responsible for producing the dimes, had several facilities working to meet the nation's demand for coins. For 1984, the majority of dimes were struck at two of the most important U.S. mint facilities, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. The Philadelphia Mint, the oldest of all U.S. mint facilities, produced the majority of the regular issue dimes that would circulate across the country. Meanwhile, the Denver Mint continued to produce coins that bore the D mint mark. This small letter, located on the obverse of the coin next to Roosevelt's image, was used to identify the coin as having been struck at the Denver facility. This mint mark system, which was introduced to help distinguish the origins of coins, is of particular importance to coin collectors. Over time, certain mint marks, or lack thereof, could influence the rarity of a coin, adding an element of intrigue to what would otherwise be an ordinary dime. In 1984, both the Philadelphia and Denver mints were operating at full capacity, producing millions of dimes to meet the demand for everyday currency. The production of the 1984 dimes involved the use of a unique combination of metals. The dime, like most U.S. coins at the time, was composed of a copper-nickel alloy. This alloy, consisting of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, gave the coin its distinct appearance and durability. The combination of these two metals made the 1984 dime resistant to wear and tear, allowing it to remain in circulation for many years after its initial release. Despite the simplicity of the 1984 dime's composition, it was a product of precision engineering. The U.S. Mint employed a carefully controlled process to ensure that each dime was struck with the right amount of pressure, ensuring that the design was crisp and clear. The dimes produced in 1984 were meant to stand the test of time, and in many ways, they did, but what makes the 1984 dime particularly interesting to collectors today is the potential for high-grade specimens and rare minting errors. As with any coin, the condition of the 1984 dime plays a critical role in determining its value. Coins that have been well preserved, with little to no wear, are often sought after by collectors. The grading of coins is an important part of the numismatic world. Coins are assigned a grade, typically on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a perfect, uncirculated coin. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. A 1984 dime that has been kept in pristine condition, free from scratches, dents, or discoloration, could fetch a significantly higher price than one that has been in regular circulation, but there's more. Coin collectors also look for dimes with unique characteristics, such as minting errors, that can dramatically increase a coin's value. Minting errors, which occur when the coin is struck incorrectly, are a fascinating aspect of coin collecting. These errors can range from minor misalignments to more significant flaws, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or planchet defects. For example, some collectors have reported finding 1984 dimes with slightly off-center strikes or minor doubling of Roosevelt's image. These errors are relatively rare, and collectors are often willing to pay a premium for coins with such unique characteristics. A 1984 dime with a significant minting error could be worth thousands of dollars, depending on the rarity of the mistake. So, where does the 1984 dime stand in terms of value today? Most 1984 dimes, like those produced in other years, are still circulating in the economy and are worth only their face value of 10 cents. However, for collectors, the value of a 1984 dime can vary dramatically depending on its condition and any unique characteristics it might have. A well-preserved, uncirculated 1984 dime could fetch several dollars, especially if it's graded highly by a reputable coin grading service. But the big question remains, just how valuable can the 1984 dime be? Well, if you happen to come across a 1984 dime that is not only in pristine condition but also has a rare minting error or another unique feature, you could be looking at a coin worth up to $123,000. Yes, a single 1984 dime could be worth $123,000 if it meets certain criteria, such as a unique minting flaw or if it's part of a limited series that attracts heavy demand from collectors. This potential for immense value is what makes coin collecting so exciting. A coin that might appear ordinary at first glance could, in fact, be worth a small fortune. And that's exactly why collectors scour the world looking for these hidden treasures, hoping to uncover the rare and valuable gems that have slipped through the cracks of history. So, the next time you find a 1984 dime in your pocket, take a moment to examine it. It might be just a 10-cent piece, but in the right condition, or with the right minting anomaly, it could be far more than that. It could be a piece of history worth far more than its face value, waiting to be discovered by the right collector. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a newcomer to the world of coin collecting, the 1984 dime serves as a reminder of the potential that exists in the world of currency, and the thrilling excitement that comes with uncovering hidden treasures. It's 2016, and the world is in the midst of significant changes. The digital age is rapidly advancing, smartphones have become an indispensable part of daily life, and the global economy continues to shift in ways that people could never have imagined just a few decades ago. Yet, in the midst of all these advances, one thing remains constant, almost like a quiet thread tying the past to the present: the US 1 dime coin, small but mighty, the dime has always been a steady presence in the pockets and wallets of Americans. It's the coin you use without thinking twice. A dime doesn't carry the same immediate importance as, say, the dollar bill, nor does it command the attention that more collectible coins might, like a rare silver dollar or a historical half-dollar. However, despite its diminutive size and modest value, the dime plays a vital role in the everyday currency system. But for numismatists and collectors, the 2016 dime holds a special place in the story of U.S. coinage, for reasons that go beyond its face value. To truly appreciate the 2016 one dime, we must first understand its historical context. By 2016, the United States had undergone significant transformations since the creation of the very first U.S. dimes back in 1796. The world of coins had evolved considerably, especially after the minting of the first Roosevelt dime in 1946, which would go on to become one of the most enduring coin designs in U.S. history. But by 2016, things were different. The Roosevelt dime, which had become the quintessential American dime, was now a permanent part of the U.S. currency landscape. It had been in circulation for over 70 years, and during that time, it had seen many changes, not just in its design but in the world around it. As the country moved into the 21st century, the U.S. Mint continued its responsibility of producing the nation's currency, including the iconic Roosevelt dime. In 2016, the design remained mostly unchanged from its original 1946 issue, which was crafted by the renowned artist John R. Sinnock. Sinnock's portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, has become an emblem of both the coin itself and the ideals Roosevelt represented: strength, resilience, and service to the American people. Roosevelt's image is depicted in profile, facing left, with his distinguished features rendered with remarkable detail. This portrayal of Roosevelt was chosen because of his leadership during one of the most turbulent periods in American history, the Great Depression and World War II. Roosevelt's strength and vision during these challenging times made him a symbol of hope and progress for a nation in need of both. This dignified image has been immortalized on the dime ever since, and in 2016, that legacy was still very much alive. But the 2016 dime didn't just carry Roosevelt's face, it also bore the symbolism that had become synonymous with American values. The reverse of the coin continues to feature a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch. These elements have deep meaning, representing liberty, peace, and strength, respectively. Together, they form a design that reflects the core ideals of the United States. The torch of liberty burns bright, the olive branch offers peace, and the oak branch reminds the nation of its unyielding strength. These elements, seen together on the dime, form a visual embodiment of the country's most cherished values. For many people, the 2016 dime felt familiar. It didn't stand out in the way that commemorative coins or limited edition coins might, but it was part of the everyday fabric of life. It was the coin you used at the store for small purchases, the one you dropped into a parking meter, or the coin that would accumulate in your pocket until you finally decided to throw it into a jar. But as with all U.S. coins, there's a deeper story to be told about how the 2016 dime was made, and this story is one that every collector and numismatist treasures. The minting of the 2016 dime involved several intricate processes that ensured each coin was produced with precision. As with every year, the U.S. Mint had multiple facilities involved in creating the coins, and the 2016 dimes were primarily struck at the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. The Philadelphia Mint, known for its long history of coin production, handled the majority of the dimes. These coins, produced in huge quantities, circulated across the country, filling wallets and changing hands as part of everyday life. The Denver Mint, on the other hand, struck coins that bore the D Mint mark, indicating that they were produced in Denver. These D-marked dimes were distributed to regions where the mint's output was needed. For most collectors, though, it's the condition of the coin that determines its desirability and value. Just like any other coin, the grade of a 2016 dime plays a significant role in how much it's worth. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect condition. In the case of the 2016 dime, only those coins that were well preserved, without significant wear or damage, would be classified as uncirculated and worthy of higher value in the world of numismatics. But it's not just the grade that makes the 2016 dime interesting. There's another factor that adds to the intrigue of this coin: minting errors. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong during the production process, resulting in a coin that has unique features, flaws, or discrepancies. These errors can range from slight imperfections to much more pronounced issues, such as off-center strikes, doubling of the design, or other noticeable defects. These errors are highly sought after by collectors because they are rare and serve as a reminder that no coin, no matter how carefully produced, is truly perfect. The hunt for error coins is one of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting, and a 2016 dime with a notable error can bring substantial value. If you're lucky enough to find one of these error coins, it can be a game changer in the world of collecting. Some 2016 dimes have been found with slight minting flaws, adding to their appeal among collectors, but the real question is, what's the 2016 dime worth today? Like most modern US coins, the typical 2016 dime is worth just 10 cents. However, the true value lies in the condition, the rarity, and the presence of any minting errors. A 2016 dime in pristine condition, graded as MS 68 or higher, could be worth several dollars to the right collector. But that's just the start. If the coin has an unusual minting error, such as a double die or off-center strike, it could command a much higher price. For rare error coins, the value can soar to impressive levels. In some cases, a 2016 dime in perfect condition or with an error can be worth as much as $76,000. Yes, a single 2016 dime, due to its rarity and unique features, could reach that astonishing value, making it one of the more exciting coins for collectors and enthusiasts alike. So, the next time you pick up a 2016 dime, take a closer look. It might seem like a simple 10-cent piece, but hidden beneath its surface is a coin with a rich history, a valuable design, and the potential to be worth far more than you might think. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just starting your journey, the 2016 dime is a perfect example of how the world of numismatics can surprise and excite at every turn. This dime, seemingly small and humble, is more than just pocket change. It's a piece of history, a symbol of American ideals, and a rare treasure waiting to be discovered by the discerning eye of a collector. So keep an eye out for those dimes, because you never know when you might stumble upon one that could be worth far more than its 10-cent face value. The year is 1991, a time of transformation for both the United States and the world. It was a period defined by rapid technological advancement, with personal computers becoming more commonplace, the internet beginning to take shape, and the global political landscape shifting dramatically. But while the world around us changed, there was one constant in the pockets of Americans: the dime. That humble 10-cent coin, small in size but mighty in history, continued its steady circulation, quietly representing the strength and resilience of the nation. But what does the 1991 dime, in particular, have to offer the curious collector and the passionate numismatist? To understand the value and significance of the 1991 one-dime coin, we need to first examine its historical context. The U.S. Mint, responsible for producing the nation's currency, had seen a great deal of change over the years. In 1991, the Roosevelt dime design was firmly entrenched as the standard for the 10-cent piece, a design that had been in use since 1946. The choice to place President Franklin D. Roosevelt's image on the dime was made shortly after his death, and it symbolized both his legacy and the ideals that he stood for: service, leadership, and resilience in the face of adversity. In 1991, the coin was more than just a 10-cent piece, it was a reflection of both the times and the story of America itself. The 1990s marked the tail end of the Cold War, and the United States was stepping into a new era of global dominance, economic growth, and technological prowess. Amid these changes, the Roosevelt dime had remained a steady fixture of American currency, representing the nation's endurance through both war and peace. Let's take a closer look at the design that made this dime unique. The obverse of the 1991 dime continues to feature the image of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. This well-known portrait of Roosevelt, designed by John R. Sinnock, captures the president in profile, facing left. The simplicity and elegance of the design have made it one of the most enduring in U.S. coinage history. Franklin D. Roosevelt, a man who led the country through the Great Depression and World War II, is immortalized on the dime as a symbol of strength and leadership. His likeness, dignified and steadfast, is still an unmistakable presence on the dime, even more than 70 years after its initial release. Roosevelt's image was chosen not just for his historical significance, but also because of the connection he shared with the American people during his presidency. He was a symbol of hope, leadership, and resilience, and these values continue to be reflected in the design of the dime. On the reverse side of the coin, we find the familiar design that had been in place since Roosevelt's time: the torch, the olive branch, and the oak branch. These elements are rich in meaning. The torch represents liberty, the olive branch stands for peace, and the oak branch symbolizes strength. Together, they create a powerful emblem of American ideals, values that are as important today as they were when the design was first introduced. The reverse design is also symbolic of unity. The three elements are arranged together in harmony, creating a coin that represents not only the nation's core values but also the sense of cooperation and shared purpose that transcends political or social divides. The 1991 dime, in many ways, continues to embody the ideals upon which the United States was built. While the design of the 1991 dime remained largely unchanged, the process of minting these coins had evolved. In 1991, the U.S. Mint operated several facilities across the country, with the Philadelphia Mint and Denver Mint being the two main locations responsible for producing the bulk of circulating coins. The dimes produced in these facilities were strikingly similar in appearance, but there was one key feature that set them apart: the mint mark. Coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint carried no mint mark, while coins struck in Denver were marked with the letter D. These mint marks are important to coin collectors because they help identify where the coins were produced, which can sometimes affect their rarity and value. However, when it comes to the 1991 dime, the vast majority of coins were produced with the same standard design, meaning that the mint mark doesn't necessarily play a significant role in determining its value. Instead, the condition of the coin is what matters most. For collectors, the 1991 dime is an example of the type of coin that might be found in everyday circulation, but it can also be an exciting find if the coin is in exceptional condition. Coins are graded based on their appearance, with a scale ranging from 1 to 70. Coins graded higher are considered more valuable due to their pristine condition. A dime that is well preserved, free of scratches or other imperfections, can fetch a much higher price than a worn, circulated coin. A 1991 dime in perfect, uncirculated condition could be worth several dollars, far more than the 10 cents it represents. But beyond just high-grade specimens, there's another factor that makes the 1991 dime intriguing for collectors: minting errors. Minting errors, which occur when something goes wrong during the production process, can result in coins that have unusual characteristics or defects. These errors can be minor, such as slightly off-center strikes or doubled designs, or they can be more pronounced, such as coins that were struck with the wrong planchets or have significant die flaws. For collectors, a 1991 dime with a minting error is much more valuable than one in perfect condition. Depending on the severity of the error and its rarity, a coin with a minting flaw can bring in significantly more money at auction or from private buyers. Some collectors specifically seek out error coins because of their rarity and uniqueness, and a 1991 dime with a rare minting flaw could potentially fetch thousands of dollars. Depending on the specifics, the search for these minting errors is one of the most thrilling aspects of coin collecting. Every time a collector picks up a coin, there's a sense of anticipation that it might hold a rare and valuable mistake. In the case of the 1991 dime, there have been reports of dimes with minor errors, such as doubling of Roosevelt's image or slight misalignments in the design. These types of mistakes, though small, can drastically increase the coin's value, and their rarity makes them highly sought after by collectors. As for the value of the 1991 dime in general, it's important to note that most of the coins in circulation today are still worth their face value, 10 cents. However, if you have a high-grade specimen or a coin with a notable minting error, the value can rise dramatically. In particular, a 1991 dime in perfect, uncirculated condition, or one with a rare error, could command anywhere from several $100s to even more. But there's one specific scenario where a 1991 dime could be worth much more, up to $124,000. Yes, you read that right. A rare 1991 dime with a highly unusual minting error or in extraordinary condition could fetch an astonishing price. The key is finding the right coin, one that stands out among the rest. With the right combination of factors, such as a perfectly preserved coin, a rare error, and a strong collector demand, this seemingly humble 10-cent piece could be worth far more than anyone ever expected. So, what's the moral of the story here? The 1991 dime, like all coins, may seem small and insignificant at first glance, but its value can be far greater than its face value if you know what to look for. Whether you're an experienced numismatist or just starting out, the 1991 dime is a reminder that there's always something hidden beneath the surface. What seems like a simple 10-cent coin could hold the potential for discovery, excitement, and perhaps even a life-changing find. The next time you encounter a 1991 dime, take a moment to inspect it closely. It might just be worth a lot more than you think, if it's in the right condition or has a rare minting error. For collectors and treasure hunters alike, coins like the 1991 dime are a reminder that the thrill of discovery is always just around the corner. And who knows? You might just find the next great numismatic treasure waiting in your pocket.